Mitch, Brady here, mate. As you know, as South Africans, you know, we need answers, we need advice. You been coaching, you know, the Lions team, being involved in South African rugby as well. The All Blacks all over the world. Now the Eagles. I hope you're gonna, you know, invite me one day to come and help with the coachings, you know, for the Backs. But my question to you is, Mitch, where did it all go wrong for South African rugby, you know, as a whole? Because why are we finding ourselves in this predicament now, where there's so many inexperienced players now suddenly the Bok team, and now they're trying to keep head above water?
I think it all comes down to the fact is that we don't have clarity, I guess, on the rugby philosophy that that the national team wants to play, and then all the other teams how they adopt that philosophy to play. So we're not clear on the rugby fundamentals, and I feel that we're not also clear on the strength and conditioning fundamentals as well, and the integration of strength and conditioning. I think if there's one thing where New Zealand rugby has surpassed us all and got a huge amount of growth is the fact that they integrate their skills with strength and conditioning, and the growth and the step-ups that they've made in power and speed and decision-making as a result of that integration has been huge. So these players, New Zealand players at the moment, in their current environment, read situations very, very well. And the strength and conditioning department is connected to all departments. It's not just an isolated department on its own. And everything's geared towards how you play the game. And maybe, we've got a situation where a lot of our leaders and our teams don't actually understand what it is and how they want to play in totality, and do not gear everything towards that style of football.
Yeah, but John, just going through what you've just said now, and we spoke about it, it's a problem because, you know, everyone's trying to say, let's play running rugby. But then I look at the back line, nobody's doing the hard yards on the inside. Nobody's drawing some attention. They just now pass the ball. Then we say tactical kicking is a problem. We just kick the ball away and we think that's tactical kicking. You've been part of South African rugby for a while, okay? Is it the coaching structures that's not in place? Is it the director of SA Rugby that, didn't do his job for 8 years? Because somewhere along the line, we're looking at everything and suddenly, you know, we're talking Super Rugby coaches, and I always looked at New Zealand rugby for argument's sake, and it feels like any Super Rugby coach can be the next national coach. But I don't really feel that in South Africa. Am I right by saying it, or am I just guessing here?
Well, I mean, I think it's length of time in the game. If you look at a lot of the New Zealand coaches, Steve Hansen's 21 years in professional rugby, Canterbury Crusaders, Wales, 7 to 8 years under Henry, and now All Black coach Ian Foster. You only have to look at he's another 20-odd years, 148 games for Waikato, Chiefs for pretty close to 7 to 8 years, junior All Blacks, and now has been in this environment for 3 odd years. So their experience is huge. Chris Boyd, the head coach of the Hurricanes, and obviously Plum, who's his assistant. These guys have got 20 years of experience. But the great thing about the great value that they all possess is they're actually prepared to share, and they're actually prepared to learn off each other. Whereas maybe we're a little bit more closed here in the way that we think, and we probably need to become a lot more open. You look at the defenses now; wingers are sitting high, so fly halves have got certain roles to play with when wingers defend high. Third to last attackers got to make better decisions when a winger's sitting high. Attacking kick space is just as important as passing the ball in front of a defensive line. And also because defences are taking up attacking space, the leaving time of attackers has to be a lot later. Let the defence take up the space and make sure the attack actually reads what's in front of them. So, defences are changing all the time, and unless you're actually sharing and understanding what's happening in front of you, then attack will remain static and not grow.
Mitch, maybe just give us some of your thoughts on Beauden Barrett and how the Springboks should prepare to face one player who has been a thorn in the side of every single opposing team that he's played against, whether it be Super Rugby or international rugby. How do you neutralise his impact?
Yeah, well, Beauden's quick. Interesting enough, when I was back recently for a family situation, I think the All Blacks had a bye week and just happened to be in Wellington. Here's Beauden Barrett and Nini Malskada. You know, so just attacking.
It seems like we've lost John there, but we are definitely going to see it.
He's very quick. Have you noticed he's sitting a little bit deeper as well in first phase and second phase. He sees kick space and behind the line very quickly. He was the one that called that to Ben Smith the other day when Ben Smith put the grubber through. He's also exceptional in his defence as well. He's quick. Here's that kick I was just talking about. That was a call from Beauden Barrett, as much as it was execution from Ben Smith. So he's quick, so he can bring line speed. He can intercept very well. So, you know, he's a pretty all-round player at the moment. Goal kicking, obviously, was a bit flat last weekend. But he's certainly, the speed that he plays the game at is encounter and turnover is also another element that he brings to the All Blacks as a threat.
Okay, so John Mitchell, if you had one focused theme that you'd like the Springboks, or if you could impart any advice for them in a nutshell, what would it be for this weekend? Where do you focus?
Geez, Elmer, I've actually got two things. If you just look at the defence that the guys have just been talking about, you know, against Argentina away, you know, Argentina got wide attack. Now, the Springboks are always very strong around third and fourth, 1, 2, 3 and fourth defender. Yeah. They come off and they make good collision tackles and often double man. But as soon as you go out the fourth defender, if you look at those clips against Australia, it was a drift defence, it was passive. So what it does is it leads to passive tackle, and it leads to basically a tackle weakness, which allows the attack to get momentum. Now, we need to change that philosophy very quickly and get up higher and get body on body, which right through the whole defensive line. The other thing is read New Zealand's defensive system. New Zealand's defensive system is also a quicker line speed, but it's still a line speed that drifts and plays the attackers to the sidelines. So on fast ball, the Springboks should be able to attack inside shoulders against the All Blacks. And a lot of teams don't go there. The Argentinians went there on the weekend, noticed that first and second defender don't push up with third defender, and they got them back on the inside. So there's opportunities everywhere. It just comes down to good tactical knowledge and making sure that you implement that, not in the week that you play. You often make adjustments, but you need a base plan around these sorts of strategy.
Okay, Mitch, one word, your prediction for this weekend. Who and by how much?
Geez, I'm always respectful of the Springboks, and I must say I wasn't very excited by Mark Reason's comments. I thought that was deplorable. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be very close. This is a wounded Springbok side. If they can defend, it'll be tight. But I'm not sure whether this Springboks team can sustain performance for 80 minutes. So again, I think New Zealand will go ahead in the last quarter, and there'll be maybe 5 or 7 in it.
Okay. Thanks so much, John Mitchell, for joining us live from Durban on Skype. And that was John's thoughts.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mitch.